Welcome and thank you for taking the time to attend our webinar, Formulating for Plant-Based Supplementation in Nutraceuticals. My name is Sarah Goncalves. I'm one of the Technical Business Development Managers for Nutraceuticals. I've been with Univar Solutions for close to a decade. Prior to that, I got my training in chemistry. While I'm presenting, do not hesitate to use the chat box to ask questions, and we can address all inquiries at the end of the presentation. The purpose of today's webinar is to resolve some of the challenges that plague the plant-based supplement industry, such as perceived efficacy, decreased or non-existent water solubility, bitter organoleptics, and often large delivery formats with longer than we would like ingredient labels. We will start with a review of the plant-based industry and its growing share of the dietary supplement market, and move into opportunities to improve herbal products to meet consumer demands. The solutions we will provide to consumers' needs include clinically studied plant-based ingredients. To overcome the organoleptic and solubility challenges, we'll head to our application laboratory where our experts in the lab have formulated with cold water soluble botanicals. Finally, we'll talk about a solution that can be used to shrink those particularly challenging herbal formulations. There are some Easter egg ingredients today that I've included and can further support in the formulation, which we'll talk about throughout our time in the lab. Our expectation is that you leave this presentation with more ways to formulate plant-based products using the novel ingredients in the Univar Solutions portfolio, strengthening your brand, and as we #grow together in this exciting plant-based market. Let's get started with our first section, the status of the plant-based supplement markets and the opportunities to grow within the industry. The share and number of plant-based launches are growing cross-industry, but especially in the vitamin, mineral, and supplements market. For example, this data from Innova Market Insights states that there was a 63% compound annual growth since 2017 to 2022 on the plant-based launches compared to the food and beverage market, although in my opinion, still substantial at a 21% CAGR. Additionally, Mintel advises on the global vegan and vegetarian claims in the VMS market share has doubled since 2017 from 12% to 24%. This is an incredibly healthy market. This migration to plant-based has multiple drivers. Plant-based terminology has a strong association with better environmental sustainability, naturalness, and ethical value. Consumers who are concerned about their personal health, the health of the planet, and animal welfare are more likely to opt for an herbal supplement. Overall, Innova Market reports that 27% of consumers globally said they had increased their supplement usage since 2020, which is a great statistic alone. But diving more into the plant-based supplements, 41% of UK consumers agree that supplements are made solely from plant-based ingredients are actually the most appealing. Even with 24% of the market share, 45% of US consumers would like to see more plant-based products in the VMS market. 77% of Indian VMS consumers agree that using sustainable and ethical products make them look and feel great. Judging by other North American reports, such as those found in the Whole Foods magazine, these feelings are replicated across North America. Creating products that highlight essential and novel ingredients that support socio-economic responsible action will be the VMS product that will outshine the others on the shelf. The previous statistics may want you having to formulate a new plant-based supplement right now, but there's a few challenges that come to mind when formulating with botanicals. One of the growing problems for consumers, as highlighted by a recent Inside the Bottle report written by New Hope Network and Nutritional Insights, is that there's a lack of transparency on the efficacy of the products, which presents a challenge on starting their supplement journey. A misunderstanding on whether the product is treating or preventing a health concern, meaning that the industry needs to incorporate more clinically studied ingredients, clearly highlighting the benefits for consumers. Formulations with plant-based ingredients can be challenging to incorporate into those preferred dosage forms, such as sachets, gummies, and chewables, due to their bitter flavors. And that botanicals and plant-based derived ingredients can often have really high water activity, or they're sticky, making them really challenging to work with and create smaller, more likable dosage forms. Our presentation is going to address providing solutions to these 3 formulation challenges, since there's a huge opportunity to continue to grow within the plant-based space. We'll cover the first solution on plant-based alternatives on our ingredient journey and talk about the botanical blend with human clinical studies, Lancanone. Our first solution proposes using an herbal supplement for a classical animal-based ingredient. We discuss the efficacy and transparency issues are really a consumer demand. Lancanone can help meet the plant-based need with safety and efficacy human clinical trials. Glucosamine is typically derived from the crustacean family, derived from animals and their byproducts, such as shells, exoskeletons, shellfish, shrimps, as well as lobsters. Glucosamine's main role in supplements is to improve joint health. Lancanone may support joints by promoting a healthy inflammatory response in the body. Lancanone may have lasting effect actually after the discontinuation of lancanone. Now, lancanone is a proprietary blend of these 7 botanicals, including ginger, boswellia, ashwagandha, Indian trumpet tree, guggul, smilax, and rasna. Here on the right-hand side, you can see we place lancanone into bright Univar Solutions Orange veggie capsules with a 2 serving size of 400 milligrams each. You should be reaching for lancanone if you are planning on making a joint health product instead of glucosamine and joint movement to a plant-based offering. Let's move over to the lab to discuss more ways we can be successful with herbals to meet the needs of the plant-based market. Our first demo covers managing a healthy inflammatory response in a sachet form, where we try to formulate for both solubility and organoleptics.
Welcome to the Houston Solution Center, where the magic really happens. We have geniuses here in our application center, like Jessica Zhang, who is able to fine-tune my formulation and make it come to life. If you have formulation challenges and are interested in working through them with the Univar Solutions team, we are here and happy to support. Turmeric and ginger are common botanical extracts used for their multitude of health benefits. However, their lipid-based bioactives are not soluble in water, and their bioavailability as sole ingredients have been questioned. Our first demonstration will be an effervescent, healthy inflammatory response sachet involving Maxicuma, a cold water soluble turmeric powdered extract. Maxicuma has been extracted with the renewable ethanol source. It also has studies showing a remarkable 24 times more bioavailability than 95% curcuminoid extract, with 172 more available free curcumin in the blood and a longer half-life in the body. As a further plus, it has a neutral aftertaste. Maxicuma's unique properties are derived from our supplier's patented lipid technology. This formulation contains a total of 3 grams of Maxicuma and 1 gram of ginger, delivering 1,200 milligrams of active curcuminoids and 100 milligrams of active gingerols. We also used other key ingredients in the Univar Solutions portfolio to make this a successful effervescent sachet. The first includes Citricoat N, an encapsulated citric acid that reduces the chance of our sachet undergoing any pre-reactions, and it will improve the flow of the material. We also just added a touch of silicon dioxide for some additional anti-caking benefits. Our long-term partners over at Church & Dwight and Armin provided us with sodium and potassium bicarbonate to complete the reaction, and we added malic acid just for a touch of acidic apple flavor, and of course, more effervescence. For its prebiotic benefits, we added 2 grams of fructooligosaccharides, which will also provide some sweetness. Lastly, you cannot forget about the erythritol to round out the sweetness profile, and a touch of tricalcium phosphate for both flavor, anti-caking properties, and mineral supplementation. We'll take the sachet here and pour it into the water, showcasing its rapid and complete water-soluble nature. Voila! Minimal stirring for 5 seconds results in a dissolution of less than 30 seconds. Tasty, fizzy, and refreshing. Interested in a water-soluble curcumin extract and a water-soluble ginger extract, or any of the excipients we talked about, just message us in the chat. Let's sachet over to another cold water-soluble botanical option.
Our second demo is a healthy eye sachet, where we also formulate for solubility.
Lutein esters and DHA, two ingredients that play an important role in eye health, are also lipid-based ingredients that would not typically be found in a sachet due to their hydrophobic nature. Xanthogreen, a lutein ester, is extracted from marigolds via a patented supercritical fluid CO2 solvent-free extraction. We have additionally incorporated a DHA derived from algae. The formulation delivers 1 gram of lutein and 10 grams of DHA. Here, we will display a water-soluble algal DHA and a water-soluble lutein effervescent sachet product using similar effervescent ingredients as the previous formulation. Look at this quick dissolving lutein esters and algal DHA. Again, minimal stirring for 5 seconds results in a dissolution of less than 30 seconds. Reach out to request your samples of these ingredients in the chat box. Let us review the next demonstration in the lab, which includes shrinking your tablets.
Our last demo will formulate with hygroscopic materials and shrink down a tablet.
Many plant-based derivatives have high water activity or can have very hygroscopic properties. They often have higher dosages to get the required amount of bioactive. Additionally, you may have consumers who just like simpler ingredient declarations. Let's take a look at the solutions to these challenges. Here is where we introduce Nutratab. Nutratab is a co-processed excipient with Organoleptics. Its benefits include great mouthfeel and flavor. It's accompanied by zero chalkiness or grittiness. Added is an excellent source of calcium and phosphorus, two important musculoskeletal nutrients. Not only that, the excellent compressibility of Nutratab allows for you to formulate chewables while reducing the ingredients along with the tablet weight and thickness. Less weighing and testing in your plant also means less processing time for you and more chewable tablets. Alpha-Size is a plant-derived alpha-glycerol phosphorylcholine. Alpha-Size, a premium choline donor which crosses the blood-brain barrier to increase available acetylcholine, an important neurotransmitter responsible for memory and muscle function. Alpha-GPC has numerous studies that show its ability to improve memory, hand-eye coordination, focus, agility, and power output. Additionally, it has unique studies on its ability to improve REM percentage during sleep and can act as an ergogenic caffeine replacement. Alpha-Size is both tasteless and odorless and available in both regular powders and a 50% water-soluble version. Today, we'll be using the water-soluble version of the Alpha-Size 50% in formulation as it's more suited to chewables and mouthfeel. Our second active ingredient is red night, a beetroot juice extract standardized to 1.75% nitrates. Nitrates are vasodilators, thinning and expanding the blood vessels to allow for nutrients, blood, and oxygen to be delivered to the brain and muscles. Red night has this beautiful reddish purple color, as you'll get to see from the tablets here in the lab, and can impart a sweet flavor. In both chewables, our active ingredients include 150 milligrams of Alpha-Size and 150 milligrams of red night. On your left-hand side, we'll have a tablet formulated with classic ingredients found in a chewable tablet, including maltodextrin, directly compressible calcium carbonate, directly compressible dicalcium phosphate, and primulose, sodium cross-carbamylose, fumed silica, and a lubricant, Mallinckrodt 4024 Nutrigrade material. In the second formulation, we have removed 4 ingredients: the maltodextrin, calcium carbonate, dicalcium phosphate, and fumed silicon dioxide, and replaced it with just 1 ingredient, Nutratab. We kept the disintegrants and lubricants as well as our active ingredients the same. We have also managed to keep the calcium content the same between the 2 tablets. Keeping the diameter constant, you can clearly see a 21% reduction in height. Additionally, the active nutraceutical ingredients display a more even distribution during blending. Let's take a look at some other key details for the chewable.
We were able to recreate the INAFOS white paper on co-processed excipients to achieve the following exceptional results. The target was to keep the amount of calcium across the tablets the same, but you actually get an additional amount of phosphorus in the secondary tablet. The NutriTab version shows a 39% decrease in weight and a 21% decrease in thickness. You actually get a more acceptable range for hardness with the NutriTab product as well. So you get less hardness with the tablet overall with the NutriTab, 72% reduction in the hardness actually. And with the NutriTab formulation, there's a substantial reduction in the ingredients. So we go from 8 to 5. In INAFOS's measurements on their processing time, they actually saw a 44% reduction in processing time because you no longer have to weigh out 8 ingredients, you only have to weigh out 5. Additionally, you only have to measure out that amount of material to go into production. These are phenomenal results. If you are designing a chewable, we can ship you a sample today. Please do not hesitate to ask. Now, we covered a decent amount of information today. To summarize, we highly encourage diving into the world of plant-based supplements with Univar Solutions. We offer alternative joint health ingredients in the plant-based space, such as Mallinckrodt, a 7 botanical blend that has studies to show its ability to produce a healthy inflammatory response in the joints. We discussed our water-soluble bioactives such as turmeric, lutein, and ginger extract that can have improved solubility, organoleptics, and bioavailability. Then finally, we discussed Nutratab's ability to shrink both your tablet and your processing time. I want to re-highlight the branded ingredients and material technologies we discussed today. For our actives in alphabetical order, we highlighted the nootropic, alpha size, the alpha GPC, fiber with inherent sweetness, phosphins, fructooligosaccharides, ginger in water-soluble ginger extract with 10% gingerols, Mallinckrodt, as we just mentioned, Maxicuma, bioavailable water-soluble and green turmeric extract, and Xantho Green, SCF CO2 extracted lutein esters. For excipient technologies, Capicel, anti-caking fumed silica, Citricoat N, the microencapsulated citric acid, the Nutrigrade magnesium stearate 4024, Primulose, a super disintegrant sodium cross-carbamylose, and of course, NutriTab. I'd like to leave everyone with some food for thought as we wrap up our time today. Plant-based ingredients are viewed by consumers as cleaner ingredients, but terms like plant-based, like clean, do not have an exact definition. However, it's important as an industry that we support trends that encourage environmental sustainability. That may mean adopting the mantra that naturalness does not always mean safe. It is important as an industry that we do not get mesmerized with the consumer allure to natural. We must always take a step back and evaluate the safety, efficacy, and transparency of the product that we're delivering to the market. Conversely, there's been a villainizing of scientifically longer ingredient names, which seems contrary to the plant-based mission. Long names that include naming conventions that may actually be plant-derived. It is in all our responsibility to educate consumers on plant-based ingredients. Thank you so much for your time today. That wraps up formulations in plant-based supplements. Let's move over to question portion of the webinar.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for your talk here today on Formulating for plant-based supplements. We have some questions, frequently asked questions from our audience, and some common questions I'd like to ask you. First one is there a difference between alpha size compared to generic alpha GPC?
Ooh, that's a great question, Tracy, and thanks for starting us off on that one. Yes, definitely a big difference between the two. I want to start off with they're obviously derived from two different sort of raw materials. Alpha size, specifically the branded ingredient from ChemiNutra, is plant derived. So compared to sort of the generic offerings, which are derived from synthetic sources, now proof of purity, historical safety usage, really FDA regulatory compliance, and research validations are really critical these days, and for a really good reason. And the amount of abundant studies that these are actually done are done on the plant-derived alpha-size product. We know it's safe, we know it's legal, it's fully FDA GRAS and water soluble and tasteless, odorless, extremely stable, sort of like non-reactive. I didn't talk about this in the presentation, but it has iGen non-GMO certification. And that's sort of the basis of the alpha size product. And then you have these synthetic alpha GPCs coming into the market space, and they can actually have contaminants from their starting materials like genotoxins and endotoxins, which can be present in the final material. And it's a shame that these sort of synthetic products have almost, I don't know if there's a good word for it, but try to tack on and say they have the same benefits as the plant-derived materials when those safety studies and efficacy studies have not been done on the synthetic materials. So that is really the biggest difference between really alpha size and sort of generic alpha GPCs, is that plant-derived product versus the synthetic materials, which may have potential contaminants in them. Yeah.
You mentioned toxins perhaps could enter into the alpha GPCs. Do manufacturers test for toxins in their quality control measures?
Well, for the they're not present obviously in the plant-based ones, but for the synthetic materials, it doesn't seem like those endotoxins are tested for. So in reality, you could be getting a product which may or may not have those if it's a synthetic material. And when it comes to something branded like alpha size, that's why you want to move in that direction, because that quality really comes with it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Next
Yeah.
question is, in your effervescent sachets, there is fructooligosaccharides. What is the purpose and is it stable?
Yeah. That's another great question, Tracy. Now, fosins, the fructooligosaccharides, is just to recap, I didn't talk about it too much. It's a prebiotic fiber, which really feeds microbiota to produce short chain fatty acids. And then those short chain fatty acids go on to produce a multitude of health benefits, including, improved immune, bone health, and of course, gut health. Now, where possible, I sort of always try to add fiber. It's good for the gut. So I thought that was like a perfect formulation for it in a sense. However, FOS in this formulation and many others is really a great sugar replacement. And so FOS is approximately about 40% the sweetness of sugar, or sucrose, I should say. And it really pairs well with erythritol to provide a well-rounded sweetness. FOS isn't actually typically stable at, I should say, for long periods of time, like around 1 to 2 weeks at room temperature at low pH. So low pH, it tends to hydrolyze into smaller molecules, which is why we use it in a ready to mix here, because we didn't have to long-term store it at room temperature in water, sorry, I should say. So if there's anything you're adding it to like an RTD, that might be something you want to consider, whether it's refrigerated or not. But it is stable at the room temperature. Only when you go to add it to water do you get that, potential pH instability. But if you're consuming it right away, there's no challenges there. So, yeah, good question.
Sarah, could fosins be blended with other sweeteners?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely consider. I mean, it's a great product on its own. It actually has a really, and this is based on panels, I should say. it has a nice sweetness in the sense that it's similar to sucrose and some of these sweeteners that are not high intensity, because high intensity can sometimes leave you with funny aftertastes, etc. So you can blend FOS with other products. It's nice on its own, but in this formulation specifically, we added erythritol because just to add an extra layer of sweetness and bulking agent. FOS can be a bulking as well, but if you want even more sweetness or you like the stevia flavor, the monk fruit flavor, you can absolutely blend it in with those as well. There's no issues.
Fantastic. Fossin seems to be a great product for the center of our gut health. Thank you, Sarah.
Absolutely. And I mean, we didn't get to dive into faucins too much today. But I would say like bars, it's a great, it has a great place there. It's going to bring humectancy, sweetness. There's just so many applications. It really extends itself, across the board, ready to drinks that may have a little bit of a higher pH. These RTMs, cookies, really anything you want to reduce sugar in. And you can kind of, again, you asked this, but you can kind of blend it in with some of those other sweetening products, polyols.
Various applications for this faucets in many food, beverages, and dietary supplement applications. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Sarah. What are some of the other trends you see that would suggest the market had headed towards more plant-based supplements?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. Customers have been really keen on using plant-based ingredients where it makes sense, and they can use like more environmentally friendly ingredients. It's really a win-win across the market. It's become really popular. Is another great example to use hydroxypropyl methylcellulose in capsules. HPMC is derived from cellulose, which is a renewable plant source. And to my point earlier, that's like a little bit of a longer naming declaration that people go, oh, what is, methylcellulose or HPMC? It's too long for me to pronounce. But it's a plant-based ingredient, which, really kind of supports our long-term goal to support the planet. And these products that, a lot of capsules today are still made of gelatin. I think the writing's on the wall for that eventually. And, collagen maybe products as well. And as the market tries to come up with a vegan collagen, even though I won't get on my vegan collagen train, and we need to come up with maybe a different terminology for that. But, making, the switch to a pectin gummy, for example, gummies, gelatin-based gummies are kind of on the end of their shelf life as well, I should say. People are transferring to a pectin gummy is another great example, or a soft gel, using carrageenan, using a pectin for soft gels as well. And we're moving towards that as a society, and really I'm here for it. So
would pectin or carrageenans also be used in vegan collagen? I'm hearing more and more interest in vegan collagen. I know it's not out in the market yet, but many consumers are looking for such a product.
I've definitely seen some, absolutely. I think there's a possibility it's coming soon. I've seen some press releases that people are talking about, designing a vegan collagen product. I think that's definitely coming from companies across the globe, which will definitely be interesting. I think there's a lot of vegan ways to actually stimulate collagen as well. Things like vitamin C we can get from plant-based sources, and we know that can stimulate collagen. So even if you don't want to consume collagen as a molecule itself, there's vegan alternatives to boost collagen that are available today in the market, no problem. So there's ways around that as well.
A vegan type collagen product, would the collagen be derived from the fibrous material within the plant material?
Ooh, I actually don't know, and that's one of the it's one of the challenges I see with vegan collagen, is that collagen is one of the, I should say, biomolecules that animals make, right? It's what one of the differences between plants and animals, right? We're able to make collagen where plants are not able to. So, I mean, I'm interested to see, whether it's going to be like an amino acid sort of, so we know we can get proteins from plants, but I'm interested to see like what is going to be the actual chemical makeup of it. Is it going to be like identical to collagen? And I think there's definitely some work to be done on that, but I'm interested to see on what it's going to be from specifically. But I actually don't have a lot more information on that now, but I'm interested to see where it goes.
Well, Sarah, thank you for answering those questions. We appreciate your time today, and again, appreciate all the work that you've done and answering all the questions pertaining to formulation with plant-based supplements. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to your sales account manager and visit us at www.univarsolutions.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for moderating this session, Tracy. I enjoyed our conversation today. Thank you all.